Hello and welcome to the presentation on mood problems like depression or anxiety. First of all, there's a great resource in the Rich Roll podcast on July 8, 2021. He's got literally hundreds of interviews with mental health professionals, and he took kind of a greatest hits compilation and put them into one single podcast. I think it would be really valuable for you to listen to that on YouTube or your favorite podcasting platform. For those so inclined and over the age of 30, there's good research coming out on cannabis and high CBD content varieties that are helpful for things like depression, anxiety, or sleep. Vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, is an important part of a healthy diet that also enhances mood. In the spirit of consuming a whole food, plant-forward diet, I recommend getting your vitamin B6 through foods like brewer's yeast, whole grains, legumes, etc. Vitamin B9, also known as folic acid, can be helpful as well. Again, natural sources include asparagus, bananas, melons, etc. There's good research that mood can be enhanced by doing something for other people. We've all experienced that good feeling when we give a gift to somebody at a happy occasion, and this is borne out in the research. It can be difficult to come by cognitive behavioral therapy, one of the greatest treatments for a mood problem. If you are unable or unwilling to meet with a trained professional, there's a great online course on stress reduction and anxiety called thedailystoic.com/stress. It's reasonably priced, I think at $50 per month, and can be very helpful to gain control over your issue. This study was on cultivating empathy, trying to put others first. This is a shift in mindset for some people, and those who purposely focused on giving time or money to other people developed happiness scores that were significantly improved. One thing that's cropping up in modern day life is our social media feeds, and this is probably just the latest version of keeping up with the Joneses, but try not to get distracted or controlled by your social media feeds. Try to live life in the moment, and multiple studies have shown that more time spent on social media is associated with higher depression scores. Many patients have experienced seasonal affective disorder, the worsening of mood during the winter. Light therapy, also known as phototherapy, can help, and you can purchase a box that you can sit in front of during your breakfast for 10 minutes every morning that can help with mood during those dark months. I recommend vitamin D3, 4,000 to 5,000 units every day. Omega-3 fatty acids as well are important. Try to get them through dietary sources such as cold water fish like salmon, halibut, walnuts, ground up flaxseed, etc. Another study on walnuts, probably the healthiest of all nuts, this one from UCLA, a quarter cup, which is 1 serving of walnuts per day, is linked with a lower risk of major depressive disorder. Exercise, many people find this out on their own. You just feel better when you're out huffing and puffing, doing what you love. It can be more effective than an antidepressant. I have been active in prescribing outdoor nature therapy for my patients, and we know that being out exercising or even just being in nature, sitting on a bench, looking at the birds and listening to the creek water can be very soothing and mentally enhancing. Another study on exercise, this one out of Mass General, shows that a lack of exercise can actually cause depression. Mindfulness it's kind of a buzzword now, but there is good evidence that mindfulness practice on a daily basis can help battle depression, anxiety, sleep problems. One form of mindfulness is regular deep breathing exercises. The 4-7-8 breathing exercise is very simple, and you can Google that. There are apps including Yoga Studio and Headspace that can help you to achieve mindfulness or a good mindfulness practice. Poor sleep is, there's a chicken or egg situation here. Sometimes poor sleep is a symptom of anxiety, but sometimes the lack of sleep causes anxiety, and patients can find themselves in a vicious cycle of poor sleep, more anxiety, which then leads to more poor sleep, and that can be tough to break out of. But suffice to say, try to shoot for your 7 or 8 hours of sleep if possible. Gravity blankets can help with sleep or anxiety. The last time I priced them out, they were in the $250 range at gravityblankets.com, and this is a weighted blanket, and they do make cool versions for summer that attempts to recreate the comforting sensation of being in the womb. Many people swear by them. Jasmine, going into the realm of aromatherapy, can be very soothing and help reduce anxiety and help with sleep. Sunshine helps mood and lowers blood pressure. 7 minutes of sunlight hitting your retinas every morning will help you to sleep better that night. It's amazing. Back to digital media for a moment, and this is pre-pandemic. Young adults with suicidal thoughts increased tremendously from 2008 to 2017, and social media platforms were largely blamed for this. If need be, if you're struggling with depression, anxiety, or sleeping problems, unplug and seek out flesh and blood humans to find comfort in. On that note, taking a news fast can be very helpful. News in quotations, obviously, it can be very stressful and cortisol producing to watch cable news networks anymore. So if it's important enough, you're going to find out. You do not need to be in on every item of breaking news. Taking a news fast for 2 weeks can be good for the soul. There are alternatives that you can replace your news with, such as uplifting podcasts, the Rich Roll podcast, the Feel Better Live More podcast from Dr. Rangan Chatterjee. One more study looking at the impact of digital or social media on our mental health. We know that spending time with people face to face protects against depression. Young people, it seems, are not sleeping as much as previous generations, which might, as we discussed with the anxiety slide, be playing a role in the rise of mental health issues. Another aromatherapy strategy would be incorporating lemon, either in the kitchen or in this study, they studied 8 ounces of warm water with lemon juice as a way to enhance mood and reduce stress and agitation. This is an interesting study on uncooked produce. What does uncooked produce contain? Healthy bacteria, probiotics, sometimes unhealthy bacteria. But in this study out of New Zealand, the more uncooked produce young adults ate, the lower their levels of depression were. It's very interesting. Here's another study on walnuts, which are good for brain and heart. This one out of UCLA. Journaling can be very helpful for processing the events of the day and gaining insight into your mood. One journaling strategy is called, or tactic would be 3 good things. Every day, in the process of depression, you may lose sight of the goodness that is all around you every day. And so opening up a notebook every night and writing down 3 good things that happened that day can help to shift your thinking over time into focusing on the good and not the bad, and this can help reduce depression scores. Take a walk. This one out of the Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science and Sports from 2015. A 30-minute lunchtime walk 3 times a week boosts mood, reduces stress. That can be easy to incorporate for a lot of people. St. John's wort is an ancient herbal remedy, and I've given you some dosing instructions there. Don't mix it with prescription antidepressants, but if you're looking for a natural way, this is something you can do without a doctor's prescription. Green space. I mentioned my predilection to prescribing nature therapy for my patients. This, out of the National Academy of Sciences, shows that children who grow up with less green space have a higher rate of psychiatric disorders. Get out in nature. Our brains are evolutionarily designed to be out there in nature, spending most of our days outdoors. Interesting study out of Japan showing that seaweed during pregnancy reduces maternal depression. And there are traditional seaweed salads, or I know some grocery stores sell packaged seaweed snacks that may have the same benefit. Lavender capsules, I had at least one patient swear by these. She was very sensitive to pharmacologic treatments and tried these lavender capsules and said it changed her life. You can buy these at any supplement store or online. Valerian, from which we get the drug name Valium, is a root that has been used for centuries to treat insomnia or anxiety. It can help people deal with stress, particularly if anxiety is significant. L-theanine from the green tea leaf can promote a sense of calm and relaxation. Another study on walking shows that it has not only the exercise benefit, but also lower stress, and has been shown to prolong life. Yoga is a relaxation technique, an ancient technique that, as an adjunctive therapy, facilitates the treatment of anxiety disorders, including panic. Please consume a plant-forward diet. We know that arachidonic acid is pro-inflammatory, found in high amounts in animal foods, especially eggs and chickens. It is associated with suicidal ideation. Eat more fruits and veg, please. A high-fat diet can be pro-inflammatory and lead to changes in a mouse model that include diabetes, anxiety, depression, and even a high-fat diet blunts the effects of antidepressant medications. So please, one more reason to consume a plant-forward diet. A word on animals. Emotional support animals, or just a pet dog or cat, can help reduce anxiety and symptoms of depression. So this would be in the category of giving of yourself to another being, and we know that giving enhances mood more than receiving. Metformin is a prescription drug often used for diabetes. Interestingly enough, more studies are showing that it decreases depression scores. And that concludes the presentation on mood, such as mood problems such as depression or anxiety or insomnia. I hope you found these useful and empowering and gave you some ideas of some things you can try on your own. And if you have questions, feel free to message me through the portal or set up a visit in the office or by telemedicine. And good luck.